Okay, we're back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Good Mom, where we share our crazy stories and things that have happened to us as moms, just to make you feel better about your own life. Because we're all doing this thing together, this mom thing together, and we're here to support and uplift you guys. And if we can make you laugh, that's even better.
Yay!
And Lindsay, I have a story from this past weekend that I think a lot of moms.
I'm so looking forward to hearing how this went.
I know, because it's something that you guys probably have some experience with, maybe have had some issues with in the past. We are going to talk about going to theme parks, or what else are they called? They're entertainment theme parks with your kids.
Yeah.
So this past weekend, my family and I, as you guys know, we're in the San Diego area, and we have a SeaWorld that is close to us. And my husband got discounted tickets because, as you know, theme parks can be very expensive, right?
They can. They're very expensive.
And if you have a bunch of kids like me, it's a lot of money. So 6 of us total, including my husband and I, so 4 kids, and then my husband and I. And he could get like a couple of the tickets he could get for free, but then we had to pay for some. Anyway, it was still discounted. And I don't know if you've been to SeaWorld recently, Lindsay.
I have in Orlando, not in San Diego, but they're very similar. And I have been to San Diego a few times. So yes.
Well, I was shocked at how many more that's the word I was looking for, amusement park experiences there were. Like originally I was like, oh, we're going to go see some animals. And I was like, no, this is not like a zoo. They have kind of transformed these amusement parks into, yes, you can see animals, but there's full-on roller coasters and stuff. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, this is a little bit different from what I'm used to. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. There were some, meltdowns and things like that, which I'm sure we'll get to. But Lindsay, did you go to theme parks, amusement parks with your kids?
Oh, darling. Oh, my goodness. Where to begin with this one? So living on the West Coast as a young mom, of course, everyone had to go to Disneyland because that was the thing when my kids were little. And I think I had been to Disneyland, I don't know, probably 20 times.
Oh, Disney World on your side, right? You had Disney World.
No, where I grew up. So my kids grew up near Seattle, right? So that's where I lived. And so we all went to Disneyland and San Diego, SeaWorld, and Legoland, and all the things, because that was pretty much a common occurrence in our family. And oh yeah. And then now living in Orlando, I am an annual pass holder for Disney and SeaWorld. So I go a lot, and I watch a lot of moms doing a lot of things in these parks. So this is going to be a good topic of discussion. I think the one thing that I would genuinely say about the whole thing is to really set your expectations of not trying to see it all.
Oh, yeah.
I watch people literally lose it. And it's the adults who are losing it. And then therefore the kids lose it.
Yeah.
Because the kids aren't moving fast enough. Nobody's getting in line fast enough. The lines aren't moving fast enough. And they're losing their crap because they're not going to have the ability to go see this and that and this. And they've got the whole day planned. And if they don't do it this way, can I just say in my out loud voice, don't do that. It's so painful. Have everybody in your party pick one thing that if they could do that one thing, it would just be like the best day ever.
Yep.
And then let all the rest of it just come as it needs to. And I find that's a healthier way to approach the theme park experience. But SeaWorld in particular, what's really cool about that, and also creates a different level of preparation, is you can get wet.
You can. We did not, but you could.
Yes. So depending on weather, depending on, whether animals splash you or not, depending on whether you go into the ice house with the penguins or whatever, you can get really cold and really wet on a day when you're thinking, oh, it's July, it should be really hot. So recommendation for planning ahead is to always have a layer effect of some kind. And you'll notice in Orlando especially, I can't speak for San Diego. You might have to talk about this one. Everyone here carries a poncho. You go to your Walmart, you get your $1 poncho, and you stuff it in a backpack. Everybody has to carry their own backpack. but you got to have it because when the rains open up and you get doused, it's like being in a shower.
Yeah.
That by itself is not so bad, but it's when you walk back into the air-conditioned environments, you're freezing. So,
That is true. Yeah.
and everyone then gets really cranky and sad, and they're trying to figure it out. And I used to sit outside of one of my favorite rides at Disney World just because I wanted to see how people would react after a rainstorm and then being in the freezer for like an hour. It's just, oh my God, it's hilarious. Like, it's really funny. So just mental note, come with something that protects you from the rain and the cold, even though you might be going in July. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I remember one year, I think this was just last year. So we were in Kings Island, which is in Cincinnati in Ohio, right?
I've never been
And
there. That's
we
cool.
were on some wet rides and I was wearing jean shorts.
Oh no.
Don't do that.
Don't do
if,
that.
If you decide and if you think there's just a minute possibility that you might go on a ride that gets you wet or get splashed in some sort of sea otter show or whatever,
Totally.
do not wear anything that's jean. Oh my gosh, Lindsay, the swish, swish, swish back and forth. I couldn't walk. I was walking around like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
guy.
I couldn't, the chafing on my inner thighs. Honestly, it was rubbing like raw skin. I couldn't even move. I was so miserable. And then at the end, because it was one of those things. We happened to be in the area. We went to the park, and so we're making the day of it, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted to stay for as long as possible. At the very end, the last hour and a half of being there, there was a tornado watch. The sirens went. Where do you hide? Where do you go when you're at an amusement park and a tornado is coming your way?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I would do. What did they have people doing? I mean, that's crazy.
Well, they weren't filtering people in any direction. It was more like, see, I was scared to leave because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to be stuck on a highway in a car.
No,
I
that's
thought
worse.
It's got to be better to stay in the park. There have to be some sort of underground something you could go to.
Sure.
And so we just kind of waited it out and it was okay. But I've never been in that situation before. I was like,
No.
Of course.
I'll tell you that this is what you're speaking into, Sunny, the preparation that a parent has to have. And we're talking to you moms. To be a good mom, I'm going to list out 4 things that are like what I call my critical 4 anytime I go to a theme park. Okay. So you have to have a backpack. You should bring an umbrella for sun or for rain. It's amazing how much it can save you from a lot of things. You need snacks. I'll tell you about a snack story in just a second. And then you also need to have clothing on that is quick dry.
Yes.
Because what Sunny was just talking to, don't wear jeans ever. Ever, never.
Ever.
Don't do it. Don't wear something that's going to be uncomfortable once it gets wet. Because inevitably, it's likely you will at a theme park. The snack story. This is one of my favorite ones. I was in line in Disney World at Epcot Center. And my daughter was with me, and she was an adult daughter, so she was in her early 20s. And we're just standing there, and she goes, Mom, I'm just really hungry. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, see, I'm the mom. I got snacks. So I open up my backpack, and what do I have in there? Bacon. Now, this is the best part. See, I'm kind of trying to eat keto. I'm trying to eat, so bacon was the best snack I could have. It had protein. I could make up a bunch of it. I threw it in my bag. All right, but here's the best part. So my daughter and I were eating bacon, and this little 6-year-old kid is right behind me, and he says to me, he's like leaning in but not tugging on me or anything. He says, I smell bacon. And I said to him, would you like a piece? And he said, mm-hmm. He's nodding his head with big wide eyes. And I looked at his mom and I said, is it okay if I give him a piece of bacon? She said, yeah, sure. You would have thought I'd handed him a lollipop and some cotton candy. That kid is like me. He wanted bacon. So we ended up giving him 3 pieces of bacon, and his mom thanked me profusely. So to your moms out there who are trying to eat keto, just whoop up some bacon the night before and take that to the theme park in your backpack. Yeah. You might make new friends.
So we did something on this last trip to SeaWorld
Okay.
So it's local for us, right?
Yeah.
SeaWorld's like, I don't know, 35 minutes away from where we live. So we knew we weren't going to make a whole day of it. We kind of
Yep.
already knew that, because we could go back or whatever. And we have been there before. So we decided that we were going to pack a cooler. And we also stopped at the local grocery store before we went, and we bought, some ice and whatever, and basically packed everything up. So we had sub sandwiches, we had drinks, we got chips, some little snacky things. I got like a vegetable tray, fruit tray, whatever. And when it was time, which was only like an hour and a half or 2 hours after we got to the park, when people started to get hungry, we just got a stamp and we went out to the car and ate, because it is so expensive in the parks.
Yes.
And the food isn't usually that. I mean, it might taste good, but it's not really that good for you, right?
Yeah. Right.
So that's what we did.
Actually a really hot tip, and a lot of the theme parks now will let you bring the food in. So check ahead, look at at their websites, because they are realizing that some people have very special dietary restrictions, and try being celiac and going to a theme park. It's rough if you can't bring your own food. So so just look at those things and try to plan ahead a little bit. It makes it for a much better experience. You're totally on it. And, here's the thing. Just enjoy the day being with family. Don't try to make it all about we have to go on every single thing.
Right.
And the moment you surrender to that, the lines get shorter and you end up in the front of the line of the thing you wanted to see the most anyway. And it's pretty cool. So I highly recommend that. So.
Another thing that we did is we got there right when we got there 30 minutes before the park opened, but you couldn't get on the rides. Let's put it that way. And you couldn't go in certain places, but they let you like in the main area where, you could pet some fish and turtles and whatever. And so we got there, with like 15 minutes to spare before everything opened up. We were right there. We kind of mapped out, like you said, it's like we knew, okay, what's going to be most busy later on. And that's kind of how we picked our spots that we wanted to go to, because we're like, we don't want to wait an hour and a half, 2 hours in line for whatever exhibit later on that we want to get to. So for us, it was pretty much all roller coasters that we really wanted to go on. So Lindsay, was so much fun because we for a few different roller coasters until people really started coming into the park, we got to go on it one after another. So we would get off the ride, nobody in line.
That's
we would
awesome.
Get on, and then we would get off. We had to go through the exit, but not all the way, to the outside. The guy was like, he just lifted up the line gate thing. We came back. We did that 3 or 4 times. And it was like, and then, like you said, then you can just relax, because it's like, we got the big stuff done. Now this is easy peasy. Just go in and
go find Shamu.
Yeah, Shamu, and then we're out. Perfect.
Yes, it's so great. Oh, I love that. And that a sidebar to that too is, how did you line management? Because inevitably you're going to get in a line with a bunch of people. Well, we always used to play a game of I Spy or something like that. Yeah. But that is, by the way, a lot of people call me the championship friend maker. One of the reasons that I am good at it is because I would practice getting to know new people in line. Take a minute. You've got an hour with these people. Yeah. You don't know who they are. Yeah. Wave your hand. Say hi to somebody. Compliment their shirt. Understand where they came from. Yeah. Ask questions. I would do that as a kid all the time. Aww. So if you're interested in making new friends and or helping your kids learn the skill of relationship, being in a line with a random stranger is an absolutely great way to do that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Perfect.
Line management. Yeah. 2 hours in line at the Avatar ride. Oh no.